is going on, everybody? My name is Ciara Lawler. Welcome to another week of Hero or Zero. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking about one comic book character, as we do every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we just generally give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun Meehan. Shaun, how is it going?
I'm good, Connor. For those that don't know, Connor said that whole intro backwards, and I then flipped it in editing software. So he's like Da Vinci, so he is. He's just a master at pod.
It's this weird thing where I did that intro and I actually can't remember what I said. And so if you're telling me I did it backwards, now I'm like, fuck, maybe I did do it backwards.
Did I accidentally do it backwards? Just going full autopilot every week.
Oh, 100%. And sometimes I'm worried that, like, am I after saying something wrong? But I know I have you on camera now, so your face will immediately change if I say something weird.
There was weeks when we used to do it in person that occasionally you would intro the wrong show.
It's just so many intros, Shaun.
It's 3 a week for 3 years.
A week. So, Shaun, this is Hero or Zero. What do we do here?
You have, this is where we take one comic book character every single week. Yeah, nearly did the wrong one. One comic book character every single week. You take DC characters, I take good Marvel characters, and we just give everyone a bit of a rundown about everything to do with that character. You
never actually said a quality thing for DC, so that could also be good. You didn't say like, oh shit, DC characters, I take good Marvel.
I think by default, being that Marvel characters are good, DC are then not good, is what I was going for.
Oh, right, he's starting a war. Grr. So, I like DC. I'm not afraid to admit it, Shaun. And so...
You should be.
Fair enough. But I don't like people that are like, I only watch one. There's comic books are for everyone. There's lots of really good and bad characters in both of them.
We all like colours and punching, right?
Exactly. So, Shaun, last week you did a character that I'd never heard of called the Ringmaster. And I fell in love almost immediately because he's so shit.
It was a character I was full sure you were going to hate, yeah.
Yeah. But it was so bad it was good. I kind of loved him. So, and this week I felt like I had to follow that up. Now, a few weeks ago I covered the Trickster, which was, he's a bit of a Flash villain, but I think he's kind of a low-red Flash villain. But this week I decided to go with a different Flash villain, because Flash's rogues are actually quite good and interesting. We are going to be doing Mirror Master. Shaun, what do you know of Mirror Master?
Mirror Master? The name does, like, ring a bell in that I've heard of mirrors before.
That is possibly the loosest reason for knowing of Mirror Master.
I've heard of masters before as well.
We've all heard of words.
Is it... was he in the Flash TV show at one point?
He was. So he's actually part of the Rogues Gallery that we discussed briefly in the Trickster. So he's part of the group of lads that have joined together. So it includes, you have Mirror Master, you've got Captain Cold, the Trickster's in there as well, and there's just a bunch of Flash villains that decided to join together to become stronger, but each of them has their own backstory as well before they join together. So I'm going to be talking of the second Mirror Master, that is Mr. Evan McCulloch, created by Grant Morrison and Chaz Trugg. Now, he was created for Animal Man in 1989. So
we talked about Animal Man before.
Exactly. So he's not specifically a Flash villain. He has appeared in Animal Man stories as well. And that's why I've kind of just thrown him in as like, I did a Flash villain a few weeks ago, but this man's appeared in Animal Man. So he's not just a Flash villain. He's kind of just a comic book villain in general.
He's just a villain.
He's just a villain. And so we're going to start off with Mr. Evan McCulloch and his history, Shaun. Do you even know what Mirror Master's powers are?
Mirrors?
Mirrors, that's a good guess, I suppose.
I'll go home.
No, you're not allowed to Google it. This is 00. I will let you in, Shaun.
You will educate me.
I will educate you, as I tend to do, you fucking moron.
Oh. So mean.
So, Evan McCulloch was born to wealthy parents, Lewis and Carol Erickson. But, Shaun, they left him as a baby on the doorstep of an orphanage run by a Mrs. McCulloch, with nothing but his first name and a photograph of his parents.
Right, okay. Standard procedure. Was there any reason? Did they just not want the kid?
They were too young and they didn't want a kid. So they just dropped him off at the orphanage and drove away.
Knocked on the door, ran away, said ha 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 ha.
Yeah, they did, yeah. He grows up fairly normal, but Shaun, what happens is he's grown up in the orphanage, he's in there with other kids, and around the age of 8, Evan is actually nearly sexually assaulted by an older boy at the orphanage, right?
Right.
And in his self-defense, he actually attacks the boy back, just obviously trying to save himself, and he drowns the boy in a creek. And so he kills this, I think he's like 16, the boy who tries to attack him.
Right.
And he kills him, but he's never caught. And he's just kind of... And that was the first point where he was like, oh, killing is fun to me. Even though it wasn't self-defense, he's kind of like doing bad things. You can get away with it. That's kind of like the coolest thing ever.
Oh, okay. That's a
Yeah.
complex backstory.
Yeah. Evan leaves the orphanage at 16 with his parents' photograph, taking the name of the woman who raised him. So Mrs. McCulloch from the orphanage, she raised him, and so he took her name. So he's Evan McCulloch now instead of Erickson. And what you'll find with Mirror Master is that he is an out and right out shitbird. Like, he's a bad guy, but he also has like a weird moral code that he kind of sticks to as well.
Excellent.
It's kind of I think is the basis of all cool and interesting villains. So he soon found that it was difficult for him to hold down a regular job, Shaun. But because he needed to make ends meet, and finding an affinity for breaking the law, he quickly turned to a life of crime.
As so many of us do, straight out of school.
So many of us do. Putting his talents to use, he became a hitman, and then a professional assassin, gaining a reputation as one of the best in the country. So he became one of the best assassins in America.
So he turned his hobby into a job, is what you're saying.
As you do. Do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
It's the American dream.
One day, he cockily agreed to do 2 jobs in London in the same day. He was like, yeah, I can do that. Obviously. The first target fought back more than he expected, and he injured one of his eyes during the fight. For the second target, he was given a time and a place where he regularly ate lunch. Despite his injury, he shot the target, despite feeling that the man seemed familiar, but he couldn't really see because he was just a bit injured. After firing his shot, he recognises the target as his father, the man who he had seen in the photograph since he was born and has had in his wallet for his whole life.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes!
That is fucking horrible. And did he feel bad about it?
Oh yeah, he was literally, like, he was devastated, I would say. I was going to say literally devastated, but he was devastated. And so he went to the funeral. Because, of course he did. Because he's just, like, racked with all this guilt, like, oh my god, I had to shoot my dad. And at the funeral, Evan sees his mother. And he's like, oh, she's there. I'm going to go talk to her. But he's obviously, like, very anxious and nervous, and he doesn't want to do it because he's the one who shot her husband.
He killed her husband, his father, without thinking about it.
And so over the next few days, he tries to work up the courage to see her. And one day he's like, right, today's the day. I'm going to go talk to her and tell her everything. And he goes to her house, but he can't get an answer at the door. And so he's knocking and knocking, he can't get an answer. So he breaks into the house and he finds that his mother has committed suicide, unable to cope with the loss of her husband.
Oh.
Yes.
That is pure tragedy.
Talk about tragic backstories for villains.
He effectively did all of that.
Yes.
That is fucked.
McCulloch spent the next 12 hours staring into her bathroom mirror, looking at himself, not knowing who the fuck he was and why he did it. Like, questioning
like a mental
everything.
Break kind of thing. Oh man,
he's just staring at the mirror like...
Sorry, you could, like, aside from the whole being a hitman thing, you could have, like, someone accidentally kill their father and then their mother take their own life. That could be like a heroic origin story.
And that is why that's the best villain origins, when they have a choice and they're at the apex and it's a choice of you can do good or you can do bad, and they make the wrong choice, which is always why the most interesting villains are like that.
That is very true, actually. Yeah, and you're entirely right.
Evan finally decided to turn himself in, Shaun. And he decided that he didn't deserve to basically be free any longer. So he was like, I'm going to turn myself in. But much to his surprise, the cops who took him into custody offered him a job. They weren't from the local police, but from the FBI. And they wanted him to kill for them.
Oh, so he can still kill people, but because it's for the government, it's fine.
Yeah, to better reach his targets and to make it all appear as an act of a supervillain, rather than a hit ordered by the US government, the feds gave McCulloch the costume and the mirror gun that belonged to the first Mirror Master.
Holy shit.
Isn't this interesting?
This is ridiculous. So what? It's all a big conspiracy.
So they hire him in. And they're kind of like, he turns himself in because he's like, I don't deserve to live. I've killed both my parents. Like, I'm on a bad slope here. I'm like a bad guy. And they're like, you've got qualities though. So what we're going to use is we're going to give you this outfit. And we're going to give you the weapon from the old Mirror Master who died during Crisis on Infinite Earths. And you're going to kill high priority targets that we want killed from the US government. But you're going to make it look like a supervillain did it. So that this never gets back to us. So these targets are just being taken out by a weird supervillain.
Yeah, and you can just write it off as like, oh, killed by Mirror Master.
Exactly. So the US government never gets any blowback from what they're doing.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That is a weirdly sinister... Like, I know he's a villain and he kills people. That is super sinister for a comic book to address.
But I think it's really cool. Like, it's one of the most interesting backstories I could probably find for a Flash villain. Like, I think Flash's villains, they don't get the same loving that the Batman Rogues Gallery does. But I think they're probably the second best. If you're going to go Batman, I would normally go... Spider-Man is right up there with his Rogues Gallery in terms of comic books. I think the Flash's Rogues Gallery do not get the same love. Like, they are very, very cool. They are sometimes seen as, like, fools and idiots because they're coming up against the literal God. I was going to say, like,
it can be very easy to write them off as just, like, campy and gimmicky.
Because they're coming up against a god. So, like, they can't win, ever. Like, at least Batman's... They're up against a human. Spider-Man, he's just Peter Parker, even though he's basically a god as well, but he's a kid. Whereas the Flash is like 27 and he's like the fastest man alive. You don't have a hope.
No, like he can run through you.
Yeah, like. Exactly. And so Mirror Master, he joins up and he accepts the job of the US government. And they basically give him his identity. So before this, he's just an assassin. And then they're like, okay, here's the mirror gun and you're the new Mirror Master. On one of his first assignments, he was tasked with so he's been going around assassinating people for a while now, right? But then on one of his assignments, he was tasked with convincing Animal Man to abandon his position as animals' rights defender. By convincing, I think it is killing him.
I see. So like take him out.
Take him out because he's an animal rights defender, and that doesn't work for us because it's the 80s and the US government they're like, all these fucking hippies. Take them out.
Right, okay, so they'll just kill anyone, is the point there.
And as he was about to shoot the hero, Animal Man's wife, Ellen, and their kids intervened and shielded him with their bodies. Fuck. And Mirror Master let them go. Because he's kind of like, fucking hell, I can't kill a whole family, like.
Yeah, I can't kill, like, his wife and kids in front of him and then kill him.
His superiors weren't happy for this sudden burst of conscience. Remember, his superiors are the government.
The FBI.
Yeah, and told him that he should have killed the woman and the children to send a message. Now, that was their original plan. So you can see where Mirror Master is kind of in this weird spot where he's a villain, but like he's kind of like, guys, you want me to kill his wife and kids because he likes animals?
I'm not pure evil.
Yeah. But so he decides to actually turn on the government. And he allies himself with Animal Man, and he helps him, and they go after his superiors. And so Animal Man is like, he's there, and they stop the superiors. They're like, right, we've arrested them all. Animal Man leaves. Mirror Master kills all of his superiors. and decided to go solo. So he kills everyone who's above him at the FBI and is like, I'm leaving, fuck this, I'm not on your team anymore, go fuck yourself.
Right, and I suppose like, if anyone tries to stop him, he's just like, oh, okay, so we'll just let everyone know that the FBI sanctioned all these killings.
Well, the thing about this is it's because it's a super, like, confidential team that he just kills everyone involved with the team, so then there's nobody that's left. Yeah, there's no one left that could say, were you not part of that high, like, confidentiality team that you were taking out people, making it look like a supervillain, did it?
Right, okay, so it's just like once he's killed everyone there, that's the end of it. No one's going to ask any questions.
So he decides to go solo, thinking that like he'd follow his own code, that he doesn't need like them to tell him what to do. And following the steps of his predecessors, he travels to Keystone City. Evan, out of costume, met and fell in love with a lady called Amelia. And so he's travelled to Keystone City, and he's there to do crime, right? He's there to like be a bad guy or rob things. But he's also out of costume. He falls in love with Amelia. Now he falls in love with her hard, but it's only been like a week and a half, and immediately he's kind of like he wants to tell her about his secret identity. So he does. He tells her, "I'm Mirror Master, but like we're strong, yeah." We're pretty good.
We good?
We good? Yeah, question mark? Once she learns about his other identity, Shaun, however, she turns him into the police and testifies against him almost immediately.
Oh no. Oh, because you would though, wouldn't you? Like,
yeah.
If someone confessed to you like, oh, I'm a world-renowned assassin and I've killed hundreds of people, you're going to go to the police with that, hopefully.
Especially if you have feelings for them, you feel even more betrayed, like you've killed a bunch of people.
And you've known me a week and a half.
Yeah, exactly. And so she testifies against him and he gets put into jail. Shaun, he soon escapes though and begins hunting her. But she had changed her name. And so in order to reach, this is kind of where he goes full evil. So like he's a shitbird and he's evil, but this love and her turning on him kind of basically makes him give up on humanity, and he's like, okay, fuck all y'all, I'm just going to do whatever I want. He snaps. And so in order to reach her, he studies Scudder, who's the previous Mirror Master. He studies his notes and discovers a little dimension called the Mirror Dimension. From there, he could access all reflective surfaces on Earth. So you go into the mirror dimension, and you can come back out any reflective surface on Earth.
Any mirror. What?
He's the master of mirrors, Shaun.
And he can come out of any mirror in any place at any time.
Yes. But like once you go into the dimension, there's like a trillion upon trillion mirrors. So he's the only one who knows which each one is. So if anyone else goes in there, they're just fucking like, what the fuck is going on? There's just like loads of shards of glass, like even like shards of glass that are small. Like
anything that has a reflection to it.
Yeah, he can come out of.
What the fuck? So even like a still puddle.
Yeah, he can come out of a puddle.
That's fucked. That's broken. Would he not just carry a mirror at all times and so he can teleport?
Shaun. From there, he could as I said, he could access all reflective surfaces on Earth, and so he's doing this to try and find her.
Yeah.
And so he goes in there and he's like, right, I'm going to find her. But she had been smart enough to remove any mirrors or reflective surfaces from her house, and so and anything she does have, she covers with a blanket, so he can't use it because it has to reflect something for him to be able to use it. So he can't just go through a mirror if there's like a blanket over it. It has to be reflecting something on the outside in the room. I
get you. Yeah. So does she knows all the powers that Mirror Master had then?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And so she goes into witness protection program, and they're kind of like, get rid of every surface you have or cover it. And so he won't be able to find you because you're after testifying against him. And so he's kind of desperate at this stage. And he drags the Flash into the mirror dimension with him and told him a little story, Shaun. And he tells the Flash, because the Flash is a good guy, he gets dragged into the mirror dimension by Mirror Master, and he's kind of like, what are you up to? And Mirror Master's like, No, I'm not here for bad stuff, right? Honestly, I'm here for good stuff. What's happened is that my true love, Amelia, has died tragically. She's at her dying tragically. Flash. Flash.
Yeah,
Like, oh, geez,
before
that's very
her time.
sad. That's very sad. But he had found a woman who looked exactly like her, and he begged him to look into every mirror of the world from the mirror dimension to find her, so that he could finally say goodbye to his lover and find closure for what's gone on. So he's telling the Flash this story that, like, okay, my great love is dead, but there's a woman who looks very similar to her, and I think it would help me settle my soul if I just said goodbye to her.
I would have closure on that.
Yeah. And so the Flash, of course, he's the Flash, so he can check all the mirrors, like, so fast. Well, he can't check all of them, but he can run through a whole lot more than Mirror Master could at any given time.
He can cover a lot of ground.
And he's doing it for love, Shaun.
For love. The Flash loves love.
He loves love. The Flash accepted this proposal and decided to help this young... the man's in love and he's had his heart broken. And the Flash is trying to be a good guy. Good guy Wally West is trying to help him here. And with the help of Impulse, Linda Park, who's the Flash's girlfriend at the time, and Oracle, he found the woman named Mary Anders. So Amelia had changed her name to Mary Anders, but the Flash doesn't know this. They're just after finding some woman who looks the same as her.
Yeah, and he's thinking, great, this might turn this guy back to good.
Yeah, he's going to be on the mend. Like, he has some good qualities. Maybe this will be it. And the Flash's plan was not to tell anything to Mirror Master until he had a better grasp on the situation. But McCulloch saw the woman in the reflection of Impulse's goggles. So when Impulse finds her on the outside, Mirror Master can see her through his goggles because it's a reflective surface, it's shiny. And so he's immediately aware of it. So the Flash has done all the hard work for him without realising it.
And so he knows exactly where she is and can go there at any time.
Exactly. And so he drags the young speedster Impulse into the mirror dimension, where he left him with the Flash to find some like mirror monsters kind of shit, like just some putties kind of thing, right? You deal with them, I'm going in here to kill Amelia. And so he emerges in California to kill the woman who had betrayed him. The Flash eventually finds a way out, as with all comic books. And
does he find a way out through running fast?
I think he probably does, Shaun.
Excellent. Good.
It's classic
that
Flash.
Tracks.
It does track. It's track and field. That track and field.
Oh, very good.
So he finds a way out and he stops him before he could obtain his revenge. But this little plan attracted the attention of the first Mirror Master's old teammates, the Rogues, Shaun. So that's probably his biggest story, is the fact, well, he tried to trick the Flash into being like, oh, my long lost love, I just want to say goodbye to her, and he drags the Flash in, and I just love that story that, like, Impulse is on the outside, yeah, boss, I'll find her for you, and they finally get her, and he can see her through his goggle reflection. It's just like, alright, you're coming in here in too, Impulse, fuck both you bitches, I'm gonna go kill her.
Time for me to do a killing.
Thanks for doing my job for me, guys.
That's actually, like, ridiculous. It's very clever as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the kind of bumbling idiot Flash villain that you'd often think about. Like, if you heard Mirror Master, you would think it's some weird dude with a suit made of mirrors. Like, but that's like,
and I think it's like, why it works is because it makes sense that that's what he would think of doing. Because if this woman has no reflective surfaces, who has a reflective surface? Impulse. And he has goggles. I could definitely use them to come out when he finds her.
yeah, like once it's a reflection, it doesn't matter. That's kind of terrifying in a way, trying to hide from someone whose whole deal is that any mirror he has access to.
Yeah, and so because that plan was so good, the Rogues immediately take notice, and they kind of they're like, you seem like a cool guy, you could join our team. So that's how he gets involved with the Rogues. But that's not the only team he's been involved with, because he was actually part of a little team called the Injustice Gang as well, that Lex Luthor set up. And basically the Injustice Gang was just a team to fight the Justice League. So Lex Luthor was like, I'm going to bring in all the villains and we're going to fucking fight them. And so Mirror Master is recruited into that. And as they moved against the JLA, he was working with Dr. Light. And Mirror Master helped create hard light hologram versions of the JLA with Dr. Light, and they sent those to cause mass destruction in Star City and then around the world. So they were basically creating light versions of the Justice League and being like, oh, look at fucking Batman, he's destroying that building.
Superman setting fire to that orphanage.
Yeah, exactly. But doing it through light, so they're like, so Lex Luthor's whole plan is we basically just ruin their PR and then we kill them.
Yeah, because if the people turn against him, that's the end of it.
Yeah. So he unhappy with the amount of destruction being caused, though. Mirror Master was unhappy that like there was so much being caused, and he was like,
again, a weird like line that he'll draw.
Because I think there was a lot of buildings being like children in buildings, like getting destroyed, and he's not about that. And like he's okay with killing the Flash or killing Amelia, who broke his heart, but like they're personal vendettas. Whereas like these people haven't done anything, and we're not getting paid for this. Why would we do this to them?
Yeah, it's like they're kids. They didn't do anything wrong.
And so Mirror Master actually turns on the Injustice League, but only after Batman says he'll offer him double whatever Lex Luthor is paying him to be part of the team. And he says, alright, cool.
Yeah, unreal. Brilliant.
This is my favourite bit of the story. With the money that he gets, half of it going to the orphanage restoration fund that he grew up in.
What the This dude cannot pick what side he's on.
He's got his own moral code.
He's like, but it's like he's kind of like a chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
That it's just like, I'll do what I want to do, and I'll do it however I want to do it. Like, I'm not just evil, but I'm certainly not good, kind of.
Because he realised, okay, well, joining Lex Luthor's team, it's beneficial. Lex Luthor's paying me.
Yeah.
But then he's like, oh, but we're destroying like a lot of buildings that maybe kids, like all those kids, maybe we kill their parents, kill something to do with them, that kind of thing. And then he's thinking, but Batman will offer me more, and I could actually put more money into the orphanage restoration and kill less people. And so he's obviously just going to do whatever benefits him the most rather than anybody else.
Yeah, like that aligns with my goals, so why wouldn't I go with that?
So he has no side. He's just malleable. He just does whatever he wants. And
that's really interesting.
So after the Injustice Gang's defeat, he helped Luthor escape. So he still helps Luthor escape because when you think about it, Lex Luthor has lots of money, and what if he wants something done in the future? He doesn't want to turn on him completely. So he's like, keep on Lex's good side in case something else comes up.
Keep him sweet.
Keep him sweet. He then settled down to regular crime, Shaun, again, and bothering the Flash, which are two of his favourite things.
Bothering the Flash.
He just likes bothering the Flash. You know how it is.
Just being a shitbird, like, just causing little bits of hassle here and there.
Exactly. So Mirror Master was soon recruited by... They restarted the Rogues again after this. And so the Rogues were kind of revitalised. And Mirror Master was recruited again by Blacksmith into joining her Rogues and took part in her attempt to take control of Keystone. So they were going to take control of the whole city. And so Mirror Master contributed his technology to create a reflective field around Keystone, preventing the outside world from realising that anything had changed there.
He is so broken.
Isn't
in terms
that so
of power
cool?
Level. Because he could just make anything look fine. There could be an entire town on fire, and people would just think it was a nice sunny day. They
created a reflective field so that everyone's like, no, Keystone's right there. Look, nothing wrong with it. And half the city is burning as they're inside it.
That's so powerful for someone who is like fairly unknown, I would say, in comparison to Joker and even like the likes of Riddler and Penguin and all that. Like, he has... Is it like a sciencey thing, or is it just pure magic that he has?
It's sciencey magic, Shaun. And that's the only honest answer I can give you. It's sciencey magic. It's comic book science.
Which is magic.
So, yeah, I think that's a lot of the main stories. He's also addicted to cocaine.
Oh,
which
good.
Is just another thing. He's been part of the Suicide Squad, but he just has a massive... Captain Cold even tried to help him through his drug addiction by basically hitting him until he stopped taking cocaine. Which I think is... It's not really in many rehab centre programs, but that's what they did.
Yeah, look, it's an odd choice, but if it works, it works.
Yeah. And so, just a general overview, like, since the death of his parents, basically, he's been avoiding real life and submerging himself in the unreality of, like, supervillain lifestyle or drugs.
Right, so he doesn't want to be himself.
And the one time he started to develop a relationship with someone, he became too possessive, drove her away, and she betrayed him.
Not a good track record.
Exactly. He also enjoys being a supervillain, and he happily goads heroes who are unable to get at him. He's all about a few quips while he's kicking the shit out of you. But he's he's not going to beat you up. He's just going to Hall of Mirrors you. Like, he's going to fuck with your brain. Like, Spider-Man 2 with Tom Holland.
Of course, the Mysterio fight.
Mysterio, like, it's just going to be a lot of, like, the Flash go, what the fuck is going on? And then he'll come up behind you with, like, an axe and just, like, beat you over the head with it.
Yeah, like, he's just going to, like, exhaust you mentally, like, while you fight 14 versions of him.
And as part of the rogues, he mainly serves as a support to the others, and they tend to make sure that he can get away. So if they're in the middle of a crime, they make sure he's the only one that ever gets away, even if they get kidnapped, or arrested, I should say, not kidnapped, since he's their main route out of prison, if they are caught. So
exactly.
If there's 5 of them, they're like, Mirror Master, get the fuck out of here. I hear the police. We're going to go down, but we need you to get us out of Bel Rev in a week.
Yeah, there's something reflective in there. So just pop in, grab us, and go.
Exactly. And so in terms of powers and abilities, his abilities are, he has a basic hand-to-hand combat, marksmanship, because of course he was an assassin, thievery.
Shot his own father.
He shot his own father. Weaknesses, drug addiction. He has a serious cocaine addiction. He also has a weakness to darkness, because when in total darkness, McCulloch's technology, which relies on sunlight reflection, is completely useless.
Ah, right, okay. So, and when you say sunlight reflection, does that mean it doesn't work inside, or...?
No, just when it's complete darkness.
Oh, okay, I get you.
If there's any light at all, he can use it. Now, I'm going to tell you about the mirror technology, and this is where you're going to tell me he's broken, because this is where, when you see the level of power this man has, which I think he's kind of the only one that could put it up to the Flash, really.
Okay.
Mirror technology. So everyone could use the mirror technology invented by Scudder, which is the previous Mirror Master, for unusual yet suitable purposes, including, but not limited to, clairvoyance. Through use of his peculiar gun and a mirror, he could see past events by using reflective surfaces to take photon impressions and expand them into the visual spectrum. He could also somehow see through any reflective surface on Earth.
What?
Yes.
So he can see the future and the past?
Yes, and through anything. He has extra vision, basically.
Why? How?
It's comic book science, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Has no one else developed this technology? Because the first Mirror Master did it.
He died, though.
Yeah, and the secret died with him, and like Bruce Wayne never figured it out.
No. So, he also has illusion casting. He can basically create like 100 versions of himself, which can interact with their surroundings. They're all just images of him reflecting.
That's not how light works, by the way.
No, and those included copies of himself or others, changes in his or others' appearances, size alteration, leaving images inside mirrors.
What?
Yes.
So it's whatever the writers want to be able to happen.
Exactly. That's why he's so powerful, but I don't think a lot of people know of him. But, like, this is one of the only rogues that could really seriously put it up to the Flash.
Oh, definitely, like, because you just tire him out, is all you do.
Teleportation. He could travel from one place to another via the mirror dimension, which makes sense. Although he apparently couldn't do this on other planets. He could also trap other people inside the mirror dimension. The prisoner died if the mirror used to trap him was broken while he was trapped.
Oh, that's grim.
Yeah, so you get dragged in and then he breaks the mirror behind you, you're dead.
Shit. But he can probably still enter through, like, the shards of mirror if he wants.
Oh, he can just enter through the other 900 trillion mirrors that are there. But you came in through that one. And to leave, you have to leave through that one.
Oh, right. Fuck. That's horrifying.
dimensional travel. So he could travel to other dimensions, including the one he used to teleport himself on Earth, the mirror dimension. He was shown to possess a limited degree of time manipulation abilities, achieved through his technology when he literally sent Linda Park's lifetime backwards, gradually de-aging her at one point.
Jesus.
Yeah. He's got a hypnosis, he's got invisibility, he can become invisible or intangible at will. He's also...
Whenever he feels like it.
And then he has the mirror gun. So McCulloch wielded a laser gun which he could use to accomplish several feats, including turning people to glass and reverse turn objects such as the barrel of a gun backwards, absorb lasers, see past events through mirrors, create space and dimensional portals.
He's a god.
Yes. Yes, he is.
That makes... none of that makes any sense. That is not a fair fight.
And my last piece of... well, the Flash is a god as well.
I guess, yeah.
The last bit of trivia I have is that despite being a remorseless criminal and an assassin, McCulloch still sends a percentage of every single job he pulls to the orphanage where he grew up and Mrs. McCulloch.
That's wild. That is absolutely mental.
Mirror Master's such a cool character.
He is. Because he does just have his own agenda and he's sticking to that. And he doesn't care like how he reaches it. He's just... this is what's important to him. He likes being a shipbird. He wants to help the orphanage he grew up in. That's it.
Just two things he likes to do. And the Flash is over here going, don't be a shipbird. He's like, I want to be a shipbird though. And I have the power to do it.
Yeah, I'm not a good guy, but
no.
I'm fine.
Yeah, like I'm
fine with that.
Like, I'm not going to kill, like, that family over there. But, like, if someone paid me enough, I would kill the whole family. But, like, I'm not going to do it for free, first of all. And secondly, if I did do it and got the money, I would give the money back to the orphanage.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't keep the money, but...
No. Shaun, what do you think of Mirror Master?
He's really, really cool. Like...
yeah.
I honestly, I want to look up more about him. Is he in any of the DC animated stuff or anything like that?
He is. He's in that episode of Justice League Unlimited that I can't remember the name of, but I mentioned it in the Trickster episode. That was basically, it's like Flash Day, and they're like celebrating him. And Mirror Master is amongst the rogues to try to take him out. That's a pretty good episode for Mirror Master. He's in the Flash TV series, but I haven't watched it. But from what I've heard, it didn't do that well.
I imagine it's hard to translate. Like,
yeah, and so I think in animation form, I think he's only really appeared once or twice, maybe. But I think that would probably be the episode that I'd pick. I can't remember what it's called though. Unfortunately, I can't help you out. But that's a good episode. Just look up Flash Day Justice League Unlimited, and they're opening like a museum for him, and that's the point of the episode.
Excellent. I'll take a look at that because it is a character I now want to know more about because. That's absolutely ridiculous. He's so broken. And I feel like it's just... like, it's a hangover from all the old powers that the old guy probably had, and they just never addressed it. Yeah,
and I suppose it becomes the case of, like, depending on the story, whatever happens. So he's just... I think he's a character... he's probably my favourite Flash villain, just because he's so interesting in terms of backstories. I mean, Leonard Snart is pretty great as Captain Cold as well, but I think Mirror Master is probably the most powerful of all of them.
Certainly by that description, I think.
He's like a god, as you said.
Yeah, like I don't see how he's ever stopped.
But he's just never bothered to just do anything other than just like petty crimes.
Yeah, he could take... yeah, like, much similar to Ringmaster from last week. He has all of this power, but he just wants to like rob a bank.
He wants to rob a bank and kill the Flash. And that's all he wants to do because he just thinks it's fun.
And... look, everyone needs a hobby, I suppose. The last time he got a hobby, he killed his dad. So
he did. So Shaun, Mirror Master, he gets a hero, does he?
I think a hero. Well, a villain, but a hero.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
The rating system is flawed, I'll admit.
I feel like I've done a lot of Batman Rogues Gallery, so it's been fun doing the Flash Rogues Gallery as well, to start getting into them, because they're literally the rogues. So
yeah, it's like a whole other thing to tap into.
Yeah, and I think they're all just as interesting. I mean, some of them aren't, but like Weather Wizard, I think he's okay. But like, I think Mirror Master is probably my favourite of them.
Excellent. Well, keep doing them. Keep doing all the roles.
Do you want to take us out, Shaun?
Yes, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Hero or Zero. We will be back Monday with Movie Mondays, Wednesday with Weird News Wednesday, and next Friday with another episode of Hero or Zero. Big thank you goes out to all of our patrons over on Patreon. Thank you all for supporting us over there. We really, really appreciate it. There will be a link to that in the description if anyone wants to join. You can get things like shout-outs on the 2 shows earlier on in the week, extra episodes where we review older comic book movies and things like that. And I think we're doing a Falcon and Winter Soldier thing week on week. That's it. So some bonus content if you want to avail of it. There's also a merch store down there if you want to support the show that way. All of our socials are linked, and the best way you can ever support the show is by telling one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
So I have been Ciara Lawler.
I have been Shaun Meehan.
I'll see you next week, guys.
Bye.